In the shadowy corners of Southeast Asian folklore, where ancient beliefs bleed into the fabric of modern life, there exists a terror born from the darkest hours of the night. It is a story whispered in hushed tones, a cautionary tale passed down through generations to ward off a specific, horrifying entity. This is not just a ghost story. It is an enduring myth, a creature of profound dread that embodies the consequences of transgression and the primal fear of what lurks in the darkness just beyond the village lights. It is the tale of a spirit so grotesque, so deeply unsettling, that its image is seared into the collective consciousness of an entire region. This is the story of the Krasue. By day, she might be anyone, a neighbor, a friend, a young woman known for her quiet beauty and unassuming presence. She lives a seemingly ordinary life, integrated into the rhythms of her community, her true nature concealed behind a mask of normalcy. But as the sun dips below the horizon and the world is plunged into the profound stillness of night, a horrifying transformation takes place. In the seclusion of her home, her head detaches from her mortal body, rising into the air with an unnatural, spectral grace. Trailing beneath it are not the ethereal wisps of a common ghost, but a gruesome, visceral display for internal organs. Her heart, her stomach, and her blood-soaked intestines dangle grotesquely from her neck, swinging like a morbid pendulum as she drifts through the darkness. Often, her spectral form is accompanied by an eerie, bobbing light, a phantom glow that heralds her terrifying approach, a willow, the wisp leading not to treasure, but to unspeakable horror. Her long, prehensile tongue darts out, tasting the air, searching for the scent of her next macabre meal. Her cravings are for the foulest substances imaginable. Raw flesh torn from livestock, the decaying meat of carrion left by the roadside, and even filth and feces. But her most coveted prize, the delicacy she seeks above all others, is far more specific and infinitely more terrifying. She is drawn inexorably to the scent of pregnant women. The Krasue preys upon the most vulnerable, seeking to devour the placenta after childbirth, or, in the most horrific accounts, the newborn infant itself. The fear is palpable. A strange glow scene flickering near a home with a pregnant woman is enough to send a chill of genuine terror through an entire village. Yet, for all her terrifying power, the Krasue is bound by a critical vulnerability, a single, unyielding rule that governs her existence. Her nocturnal hunt is a race against time. Before the first rays of dawn pierce the morning sky, she must return to her dormant physical body. This headless form remains hidden and stationary while she roams a fragile anchor to the mortal world. If she fails to reconnect with her body before sunrise, the consequences are fatal. Furthermore, if her hidden body is discovered and destroyed, often by burning it to ash, the spirit has no vessel to return to. In this case, too, the Krasue will die, her cursed existence finally brought to a violent and permanent end. This weakness, this desperate need to reunite with her physical self, transforms her from an unstoppable predator into a hunted, tragic figure forever racing against the dawn. The origins of the Krasue are shrouded in the mists of oral tradition, with countless variations whispered across different regions and cultures. There is no single, definitive story, but a tapestry of tales that all point to a woman cursed for her sins or a pact gone horribly wrong. In many versions, the Krasue is believed to be the spirit of a woman who engaged in forbidden practices, delving into dark sorcery and black magic to attain beauty, wealth, or power. Her pact, however, came at a terrible price, twisting her into the monstrous form she now inhabits. Another common belief links the curse to a tragic or violent death. It is said that a woman who died in the throes of a painful childbirth, or one who took her own life, could be condemned to wander the earth as this tormented spirit, her eternal hunger, a grotesque parody of her unfulfilled maternal role. Other tales weave more specific and elaborate narratives. One popular story speaks of a wealthy and vain woman who, in her obsession with eternal youth, wore a special black ribbon or cloth tied tightly around her neck and torso day and night. This garment was either enchanted or part of a dark ritual, but over time, it became fused with her body. Upon her death, the dark magic took hold, and the ribbon became the supernatural mechanism that allowed her head and organs to separate from her torso, birthing the first Krasue. Perhaps the most cinematic and widely known origin story today comes from a modern retelling, which casts the Krasue as an ancient Khmer princess. In this legend, the princess was betrothed to a powerful Siamese nobleman, but was caught in an affair with a simple soldier. As punishment, she was sentenced to be burned at the stake. In her final moments, she desperately recited a magical incantation taught to her by a sorceress. a spell meant to make her body impervious to fire. But the spell was either incomplete or cast too late. The flames consumed her body, but the magic was just powerful enough to spare her head, neck, and the organs dangling beneath, creating the horrifying, immortal creature that now haunts the night. Given the very real fear that Krasue inspires, communities have developed a range of protective measures and folk remedies, rituals designed to ward off this nocturnal predator. To exploit this vulnerability, villagers plant formidable, thorny barriers around their homes. Hedges of sharp bamboo, thorny rattan vines, or dense clusters of spiky lemongrass are cultivated not just for their practical uses, but as supernatural fences. The belief is that as the Krasue attempts to float over or through these defenses, her intestines will become snagged. This simple act of planting transforms a humble garden into a fortress against the supernatural. Everyday superstitions also play a crucial role in household protection. A deeply ingrained belief dictates that all laundry, especially women's clothing, must be brought indoors before nightfall. The fear is that a wandering Krasue, after feeding on blood or filth, might use the hanging garments to wipe her mouth. This act would not only stain the clothes with foul, otherworldly secretions, but also bring bad luck, illness, or a spiritual contamination upon the owner. The most critical ritual, however, surrounds the act of childbirth. To prevent the Krasue from being drawn by the scent of blood in the placenta, her favorite meal, the afterbirth, is never disposed of casually. It is carefully collected and buried, often deep in the ground far from the village, sometimes with sharp thorns placed over the burial site as an added precaution. This practice is a sacred duty, a final, crucial step in protecting both mother and child from the hungry spirit that hunts in the dark. Beyond the spine-chilling horror and macabre details, the legend of the Krasue serves a deeper, more significant purpose within the communities that tell her story. It functions as a powerful instrument of social control, a terrifying allegory that enforces moral codes and reinforces cultural norms. The Krasue is almost always female, and her origin is tied to transgressions, vanity, adultery, witchcraft, or breaking sacred taboos. Her horrific form is a physical manifestation of her moral corruption, a perpetual punishment for stepping outside the bounds of acceptable behavior. Through her story, the folklore delivers a potent warning: conform to social expectations, honor traditions, and live a virtuous life, lest you suffer a fate worse than death. This enduring myth continues to evolve, finding new life in contemporary media. The Krasue has transcended oral tradition to become a star of the silver screen in countless Southeast Asian horror films, most notably in the acclaimed 2019 Thai romantic horror *Inhuman Kiss*, which reinterprets her legend with tragic depth. Her terrifying visage has even crossed cultural boundaries, appearing as a formidable killer in the internationally popular horror game *Dead by Daylight*, introducing a new generation of global audiences to the chilling tale of the floating head with the dangling entrails. Through it all, from ancient village whispers to modern digital screens, the Krasue remains a potent symbol of horror, a creature that embodies the darkest fears of the human psyche and the enduring power of folklore to shape our world.